and thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. I'm going to be doing the Capricorn daily energy reading. As always, take what resonates, leave what does not. All right, we're going to be looking at what you may be struggling with, and we have destruction, releasing your anger. We have advice from the tarot. We have healing, restoring hope. And then energy that wants to come in for you, we have trust, love, and friendship. All right, so let's get some more cards here for destruction, releasing your anger. Oh, look at that, the Tower. Look at that. We have the Five of Cups. And then we have the Knight of Cups. I feel like you reached out to someone to try and communicate with them, and I feel that they didn't respond the way that you thought that they were going to respond. I feel like they rejected you in some way, or they and that made you feel angry. Definitely, you know, reaching out and trying to communicate with someone, because this Knight of Cups is like reaching out, and I feel like you tried to reach out, but I feel like it didn't turn out the way that you were hoping it was going to, or that conversation didn't go the way that you thought it was going to go. And I feel like it just kind of blew up. I mean, especially with this destruction and this Tower here. I mean, that's kind of a lot of, you know, blowing up, and, you know, it's almost like the dragon is blowing up the tower, you know. I've been watching that Game of Thrones, rewatching that again, so it's kind of making me think of that. I think that's why I ended up getting the Star Dragons, was because I liked the dragons in the Game of Thrones. But I feel that there's this anger in this, and you feel let down. The reason why I feel like you feel let down. But even though you may not see it now, I feel like this is a good thing that happened, right? That I feel like maybe this is something that was needed. Maybe this, even though when you're going through it, like you're like, well, how can you say that that was needed, that this person rejected me, or this person let me down, or this didn't go the way that I wanted it to, and it all blew up in my face? Because as I've said before, I like the tarot card because it's something that's been built on a false belief, and it's something that you keep piling on top of other things, and you keep having these falsehoods, this false thing that you're building on top of. It could be that this person was telling you false things. Maybe you were making excuses for someone's bad behavior or why things were happening, or maybe it was, I just feel like there was this huge falsehood that was around you, and all of a sudden it's just blown up, and that you can't maybe see it right now that this is a good thing, but because you have these two cups that are behind you, and I feel like it's kind of looking at the good from this situation. And this is something that needed to happen. This is something that was stirred up. This was something was shaken up, right? With this Tower moment. That maybe you had a lot of anger about this, and then you just kind of let it go. And that, or you have this built up, and that this is something that you're trying to deal with. In doing this, what does that bring in? It brings in healing, and it brings in restoring hope. Okay. We also have the Hermit, looking within. I feel like this is something that you've wanted to have happen secretly. I feel like this is something that you have been wanting this to happen, and it's almost like there may be a sense of satisfaction because it like blew up this way, or that you released your anger on this situation or this person. And I feel that I kind of can see like this smirk or this sense of satisfaction within yourself that this happened. Even though I feel like you're going through a lot of emotions and feelings about it, and even though it's been something that's been stressful, I do feel that it's something that you kind of wanted it to happen that way. We have the Strength card with the infinity sign, which is individual empowerment. So these are two major cards here for the advice that's coming in from the tarot. And we have the Hermit card, so looking within. I also feel like with that looking within, I feel like it's being true to your, like, own your feelings. Like if you were happy that this happened, then own that and say, you know what? I'm happy that this did happen. I'm happy that I did release my anger. I'm happy that I did have this Tower moment, right? I'm happy that I did reach out and I stirred things up, or this happened. And You know what? I'm happy about this, because you know what? You're speaking your truth, and you're saying what you're feeling, and you're not making up excuses, or you're not trying to backpedal, or you're not trying to say, well, this, but when you really mean something else. It's like, speak your truth. There's a massive amount of freedom when you're able to say that. Yes, sometimes you can be too blunt. Sometimes, you know, you have to kind of approach it in a softer way. Like with the Strength card, it's about approaching a situation in a softer way, that it's not being so direct or so blunt. I feel that Capricorns have a way of just being blunt and direct because that's what they appreciate, but not everyone else appreciates that. So I'm a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising, so I know what that means. But not everybody can take it as bluntly as you can put it. So yes, there is a way that it can be handled in a softer way. I feel like now you're at a crossroads with this, with what's happening here. I feel like you're kind of at this crossroads where you're like, okay, you can go back into this energy and have this build up again, or you can take this as this destruction of this tower, right? That something came to the surface, like something was brought to the surface, right? So now you have to deal with it. So the question is, how do you deal with that? I feel that the advice from the tarot is to look within, be strong, and speak your mind, and speak your peace, and speak what it is that you're truly feeling. I also feel like it's recognizing those feelings that you're having, right? Acknowledge those feelings, that if you are feeling angry or you're feeling let down or frustrated with something, then speak that. Don't try and cover that up just to make someone else feel better. Yes, like I said, there's a softer way to approach things, to not be so direct. But you have to be able to speak your truth too, and say, you know what, this really bothered me, or this really hurt me, or I don't want to do this anymore, right? That I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. I don't want to, do this thing with you anymore. I don't want to work at this job. I don't want to, whatever this thing is. And because I feel like it's something that's been building up. I feel like it's resentment that's built up. And I feel like it just kind of came to a head and it just exploded. And I feel like it's almost like you knew it was coming, and I feel like you were kind of, in a sense, I feel that there's a sense of release and you're happy that it happened, but now it's your choice as to where you're going to go from here, right? What's your next move? Do you go back to this and you start building this back up again, or do you move on in a new direction? Change is coming in for you, definitely with the wheel, right? So we have trust, love, and friendship, restoring hope. Over here at the advice from the tarot, what's coming in for you is trust, love, and friendship. We also have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Knight of Pentacles, that slow, steady progress towards more positive and better things. And then we have the Page of Pentacles, which is, I feel like it's kind of those new beginnings, and I feel like it's a new job opportunity for you. I feel like it's kind of moving in a new direction for you. This could have to do with a job, right? That you're just so frustrated and you're just like, I don't want to work here anymore. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be in this situation. And I feel like it's really exposing your true feelings with this Hermit card. I feel like it's really giving you this opportunity. Okay, if you don't want to do this, or you don't want to be in this relationship, then what do you want to do, right? What do you want to do? What is going to make you happy? What is going to give you that fulfillment? What is going to give you that positive energy and restore hope and have that trust in yourself, right? And bring you back together and put you back on track. Sometimes it's like these things blow up for a reason. It's like something needs to be dealt with, something that maybe you've been ignoring for a while, right? Sometimes it's so much easier, just sweep it under, I'll just deal with it, I'll just deal with it, I'll just deal with it. And then all of a sudden it's like kabang, right? Now we got something else to deal with. All right, so let's grab an animal oracle. We have Dear Spirit, bring a gentle touch. So that's what I was talking about earlier with the Strength card, is this, I feel like now that this has blown up, like now that this has come to the surface, I feel like kind of bring that gentle touch to where you're going from there. I feel like it's not, yes, you're angry and you're frustrated, and yes, you have to speak your truth, but sometimes we have to be careful in the way that we present things, right? That if it's another Capricorn or it's somebody who appreciates bluntness, then you can have the conversation that way. But if it's someone who may not be able to handle that sting of bluntness, to be able to bring a gentler touch to the situation. So I feel like that's why that card came out. I also feel like it's being gentle on yourself, because maybe you're mad at yourself because you're like, oh, I can't even believe I just did that. I can't believe that I blew up. I can't believe that I did that. I can't believe that I was pushed to that moment where I did that. But then I feel like it's bring a gentle touch to yourself to realize that it was building up over time. Don't be so harsh on yourself, because then it's like, if you're harsh on yourself about what happened, then it's like that's another layer of something that you're going to have in your mind, and you're going to keep beating yourself up about and say, why did I say that? Why did I do it? You know, take ownership of it and say, you know what? That's what happened. That's what happened. That's what it got to. And then moving forward, and kind of say, you know what, I should have taken care of this earlier. I should have dealt with this earlier. I should have seen that this was coming, and I should have handled this in a different way, but I didn't. So this is what it is. So where do I go from here, right? I can learn from this situation, and I can change moving forward. All right, so we have a whole bunch of whispers of healings that came out. We have hydrate, which I just took a sip of water. Guess I need to hydrate. We have choice. Again, I feel like this goes with the Two of Swords, where you have a choice on where and how you move forward from this moment, right? If you need that time to look within yourself, to really figure out how you're feeling and what your next step needs to be, I feel like take that time. Don't feel rushed to have a resolution or have an answer. I feel like don't feel rushed, because you want to give yourself the best opportunity to move forward in a positive way, right? You want to give yourself the best chance to have the best results after this has already happened, right? Don't go back to the way things were. Of course, you have to choose what is right for you. I'm not telling you what you have to do. Don't repeat the cycle again so that you're having to go through this again, right? Take that time, figure out what it is that you want to do, figure out how you're feeling, and then listen to your body, right? Listen to your body, listen to your mind, listen to where, what you're feeling inside. Take that time to hydrate yourself, right? And I feel like it's take that time to clear your mind. Take that time to make your next step one that you feel 100 or 99% positive that this is the right step for you, right? We never can know if it's the right choice for us until it's, hindsight is 2020. But I feel like this has happened for a reason, for you to look within and for you to, have these changes. Don't repeat the cycle, right? Make the changes that are necessary, and only you can say what those changes are, right? Only you can answer what it is that needs to be changed. You can only change yourself. You cannot change another person. So you have to keep that in mind, right? That you can only change what's going on in your world. All right, we have two that came out. Psychic Tarot, that's what this is. We have third eye chakra. And the third eye chakra is that connection with the universe, connection with spirit, connection with that spiritual being that you believe in, right? And kind of hearing those messages, opening up that third eye chakra, listening to those messages that are trying to download to you. I also feel like it goes with listening to your body, because with the purples there, I feel like those are kind of connected there, where it's listening to your body, right? And having that connection. We have patience and planning, which is the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is usually showing a person that has kind of stopped in motion and is kind of looking down and kind of thinking and, just kind of taking a break. And patience and planning, and that's what I was saying, is to not rush into anything and take that time, right? To look within and make your next step one that you're fully on board with, right? That don't feel rushed about making a decision. If you feel that someone is rushing you, then have that conversation and say, you know what, I need more time to process. I need more time before I can start speaking on this, before I can move forward. Like, I need more time for myself to really process what's happened. And say that so that that person understands that you're not trying to ignore them, but that you're trying to process, you're trying to work things. I know that for me, I'm a Capricorn sun and a Capricorn rising, is that when something big happens, that I need that time. I need time to sometimes it's a couple hours, sometimes it's a couple days, sometimes it's a couple weeks or a couple months. I need that time to process, to work through what happened and where I want to go from there and what my true feelings are. I don't want to have that knee-jerk reaction where I create a bigger problem, right? That I create a bigger problem and I have to not only deal with that, but I have to deal with the original thing. So I feel that sometimes I have to say, you know what, I need some more time to process. And if that person that you're talking to, if they truly care, they'll understand, right? But if they don't, then that kind of shows a side of themselves, and that gives you some more information to really process, right? And say, well, if this person's being so rude, or they're being so demanding, or they're not even thinking about how I'm feeling. And so that will give you more information to think about. We have soulmates, and then we have orphaned. I don't feel like the orphaned is in a negative way. I feel, again, that is about going in that hermit mode. It's about taking that time and that space to yourself. I feel like it's removing yourself from the situation to really clear your head and clear your mind. And then we have soulmates, which there's the key and there's the lock, but I feel like it's looking within yourself, right? Finding that key within yourself and having that connection with yourself. You can't have it with someone else if you're not truly having it with yourself, if you're not having that connection with yourself and really truly acknowledging what's important to you and following through with that, right? And believing in yourself and healing yourself and restoring trust and giving yourself that chance, right? If you're always putting yourself in negative situations, then it's like you don't really have your back, right? You're not really having that connection with self, because you keep putting yourself in negative situations. Maybe that's your comfort zone, which I've talked about many times before, and maybe that's something to be aware of. But I feel like the soulmate is that connection that you have with yourself. Are you truly looking out for yourself? Are you truly looking out for your best interest? Sometimes that's something that we really have to think about. All right, I'm going to grab a crystal card to close it out. Are you really looking out for your own best interests? All right, so we have two that came out. We have calcite and ametrine. All right, so those two cards. I actually have a ring, an ametrine ring. It's actually very pretty. The ametrine is a combination of amethyst and citrine. It opens pathways between the physical realm and the spiritual realm. So that goes back to the third eye chakra, right? Having that connection. So this crystal has come in for you to enhance that connection that you have with the third eye chakra. This stone can alleviate stress during challenging life transitions. So this could be this is a life's transition that you're going through. And this crystal has come in to help you relieve the stress of that. Ametrine brings the shadowy parts of us to light, healing deep wounds and trauma by confronting them directly. It encourages you to hop in the driver's seat and take control over your life. Adding clarity and discernment, it gives you the confidence to take the lead. And that's what I was talking about in this reading, is take the lead in this situation, to really look out for yourself and say that this has happened for a reason, for me to notice something, for me to realize something, to really say, am I doing those things that are best for me, and to connect with myself. We have calcite, which is amplify, cleanse, and open. It amplifies energy for higher awareness and healing, pairing well with other crystals and taking on their attributes to increase their abilities. So that's really cool. So it's increasing this ametrine energy for this healing and for this realization for yourself, and for you to take the lead, right? And for you to take control of your life. And so this is amplifying that for you. It turns negative energy it transforms negative energy for release and renewal. So negative energy, definitely destruction, releasing your anger. So your anger. So it's like, this also helps to cleanse that, right? It helps you to release it. It helps you to let that go. I like to have calcite reminds you that there is always a new beginning. You just have to decide when to start. I love that saying. There's always a new beginning. There's always a new beginning, and that's what you have to remember, is there's always a new beginning. You just have to decide when to start. And I feel like with this going on here, that this is that new beginning for you. And where are you going to go from there? Where are you going to take it from there? I was saying earlier is that I love to have crystals around me. So I have my selenite, which is a cleansing crystal, and I have my hematite. And I love these crystals. I can literally feel the energy transferring, either connecting to me or releasing from me. And these always help to give me energy. I highly suggest that if you have the opportunity to go to a crystal store or you see some crystals, I would say check them out and hold different ones, right? Because they usually have a whole bunch of different ones, and it's finding that one. When you find that one that just feels right, you're like, yep, this is the one for me. That's how I was with this one. It just has this perfect little notch here, and it just feels so good in my hand, and it's so perfect. This one was sent to me. My sister sent it to me as a gift. It was part of a crystal pack, but I definitely like this one. This is one that I hold on to often when I'm really, really struggling, when I'm really feeling negative. I hold on to this one, and it really helps take away that negativity for me. And if that's another tool that you can put in your toolbox to use when you are struggling, I say go for it. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. As always, I wish you the best in your journey.